Approaching a new inflatable boat, or any boat for that matter, is always a dilemma. Too big is then difficult to manage, transport and maintain, but too small means giving up accessories, comfort, and most of the time, even seaworthiness. But you know what? Marco claims that a solution to this problem exists. Will this be true? They call it R26, and today I'm in the branch of Lake of Como, where Manzoni's novel, The Betrothed, took place to test it. Welcome to the Boat Show. The idea behind the new Marco R26 could be said to be that of miniaturization. By observing all the details, accessories and arrangements made in the making of this boat, we naturally think of an inflatable boat of at least 10 metres. But do you know its overall length is just 8.02 metres, and they managed to fit everything they needed and more. Starting from the stern, the swimming platform, moulded into the hull, are very large, with a storage compartment and a retractable ladder the same size as the ones mounted on their E-Motion 36. Moreover, I have to admit that the handrails are very comfortable, both to come out of the water and to get it out of the water. The whole aft area is walkable, the engine pipes are covered by the walking surface, and the utilities, gasoline filler, showerhead, and 220-volt socket are covered by this plexiglass. The entry into the dinette is facilitated by lowering part of the seat back, which, when raised, completes the cushioning, making it comfortable but above all safe for anyone inside. And behind the two back seats, there's a storage space, which is very comfortable on an inflatable. The area is surrounded by two fiberglass saddles that embrace the tubulars. The passageways with the deflated tubulars fold down to make it easier to carry the boat. In the centre of the C-shaped seat there is a table that, when lowered, makes the aft sunbathing area a full 1.9 centimetres wide, and when you no longer need it, instead of storing it, it becomes part of the flooring. Convenient, huh? The details that comprise the deck equipment of Marco's new R26 speak to the model's mission from the start: to satisfy every possible need without limitations. A drawer refrigerator and a waste compartment in the pilot seat module, a toilet or dressing room inside the formwork with a front-facing opening, large sun deck and asymmetrical storage lockers to maximise storage possibilities. There are also cup holders throughout the boat and a JL stereo system with 6 speakers and an 8-inch subwoofer. This is what you see with the naked eye, but what makes this an inflatable you can trust is the way it's designed and made. For example, the fiberglass bow has also been moulded into the hull, so that it's solid and secure when mooring, just as the swimming platforms. The hull, the tubulars, the superstructure. Since I'm familiar with the shipyard, I could approve of this inflatable boat with my eyes closed. But no, as always, I want to put it through different paces to reach its full potential. And aft we have 450 horsepower. What do you say? Shall we go?
Andiamo?
The R26 model is a first for the shipyard Marco. The hardtop and the hull do not come from any other of their models. Of course, the philosophy that is always signed by Marco is a plain hull with no step or redan. At 13 knots and 2,600 RPM, consumption is 31 litres per hour. Actually 28 litres, and we are at the minimum speed for planing. What they want to achieve is not an inflatable that can reach the highest speed, but rather an inflatable that is able to navigate in every weather condition. Today, when we arrived here in Lake Como, the lake was rippling, and I was hoping the waves would increase, because then I could really enjoy this kind of hull. But instead, it flattened out. And so there's only one thing left for me to try to do. Try it out in manoeuvres, but mostly to see how fast it can go.
Ok, cominciamo a dare qualche dato.
Okay, let me give you some figures. We are equipped with 450 horsepower by Mercury Racing. At 3,500 RPM, the tip lowered, and at 25 and 26 knots we consumed 51.4 litres per hour.
0.4 litri per ora. La plancia di comando è
The steering area is really well organised. When seated, there is a footrest. Maybe it would be useful to have one when steering standing up.
I tubolari alla fonda toccano solo nell'ultima parte.
When at anchor, only the last aft part of the tubulars touches the water. This means that the anti-rolling action at roadstead is unrestricted, but it is not overstressed during navigation. Also, while it is true that this hull is not designed to reach the maximum peak speed, this doesn't mean it goes slow.
Di velocità. Non ho mica detto che va piano.
Let's try it while veering. Let's veer to the port side. Precisely because the tubulars are higher, I do not expect them to have as much resistance.
Proviamo adesso.
Let's try to close the turn a little more.
Lo facciamo abbattere.
We make it lean on the water. It doesn't bounce too much, but the tubular structure limits the heeling.
Leggermente lo sbandamento.
It does what it's required to do. What I really like is the passage on the wave. It's very smooth. Obviously, we are passing a wave that was created. It's the only one we have.
Ma adesso è arrivato
But now the time has come.
Il cantiere dichiara
The shipyard declares that with this motorisation, the new Marco R26 can reach up to 50 knots. So today, as always, I have two goals. The first is to reach them, the second is to top them.
Superarli! Senza toccare il trim.
The gas is completely open without touching the trim. We're at 5,000 RPM and 40 knots, and we're consuming 138 litres per hour.
Sento la necessità di
I feel the need to raise the bow a little so as to detach the tubulars more.
di più dall'acqua. Tiro sul trim.
I adjust the trim and can you perceive it?
Il gommone diventa
The
più
inflatable becomes lighter. It does not rub against the water.
Lo
You
si
can
vede
easily see it from the wake, and there are no more splashes. We only touch in the final aft
la
section.
parte poppiera.
We're doing 45 knots at 5,500 RPM and consuming 147.5 litres per hour.
Arriviamo a 5.000.
We reached 5,780 RPM and 50 knots, so we achieved the first goal.
Obiettivo raggiunto. Esageriamo col trim.
Let's exaggerate with the trim and raise the propeller out of the water until we gain knots. We have already reached 51 knots, 51.6 knots to be exact. Great result.
Ottimo risultato. Sì. Insomma, abbiamo
In
visto.
conclusion, we've seen that everything we need is on deck, and the hull works. I know it sails well and goes fast because I tested it firsthand.